Well, a lot of fancy Jeeps here. Winter's coming up. Do a little four-wheel driving. They got all kinds over here. Look at this baby. There's some serious four-wheeling right here. Hey everybody, it's Mark the Lost Traveler. And we're ready to travel. We're gonna head up to the Blue Ridge Mountains today. There's two sites I wanna show you. One is secretive. Well, it's not secretive anymore because of one unfaithful day back in December 1st of 1974. And I'm gonna take you and show you what happened there. Well, pretty much on a day like today is when this event happened. Foggy, rainy, as we're heading up Route 601 here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Well, here we are. I know this is unrecognizable to most people, or even what this is, but back on December 1st of 1974, TWA Flight 514 that was en route from Indianapolis with a stopover in Columbus and to National Airport crashed here. 7 crew member and 85 passengers all perished. With weather about like this today, cloudy, foggy, rainy, very poor low visibility, they were diverted to Dulles Airport, which is about 30 miles away instead of National Airport. And about 30 minutes before this crash, an American Airlines flight almost met the same fate. But the captain, I think his name was Milker, in his when he testified, he told the FAA that he would have not descended as told by the air traffic controllers because he thought the descent was too early for how far they were out. And the mountain here, because they came this way from the heading east, were supposed to be about 3,400 feet, and they were told to start heading down to 1,800 feet is when they crashed. And actually 2 weeks even before that, a United flight almost met the same fate as this TWA flight, because the charts that they had on the plane and the charts they had in the air traffic controller didn't match. So there was a bit of a dispute on that. But now the charts, the air traffic controller, and the pilots all have the same pages now, so everybody's on the same page. And that's why now they have ground proximity warning systems now. And the FAA 4 years earlier had told the airlines that they should have that, but they didn't. So after this crash, within a year, all commercial airlines had the proximity warning. There used to be a TWA plaque here up on the top of this rock, but apparently someone stole it, I guess for a souvenir. But of course, all the people who were on the plane, I guess probably the most notable was Brigadier General Roscoe Cartwright, one of the U.S. Army's first black generals, and his wife among the departed. But his nickname was the Rock, so he was actually the first Rock before the Rock. Another interesting fact, of course there's thousands of them, you can find them on the internet, but the airline knew about the plane crash, but they didn't tell any of the people yet. They say people come up here every once in a while and plant flags, some flowers, and in I guess about 16, 17 days there'll be people up here bringing flowers. It'll be 43 years since the crash. Something else that I'm sure a lot of people didn't know, but on that same day another 727 crashed. It was Northwest Airlines flight 6231, and they were chartered by the Baltimore Colts to go pick them up in Buffalo, and that plane crashed. So that could have been a real disastrous day. Well, this is going to be pretty hard to see since it's a little foggy up here, which is probably the way they like it. Is the Mount Weather I don't know what you want to call this. I know it's on Wikipedia, but in case of a crisis, we're getting bombed or a nuclear attack, this is where everybody comes up here to Mount Weather. This is where FEMA's at. The Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, which is a very, very large facility. Of course, they don't want you stopping or slowing down or anything through here. No trespassing signs everywhere. And I would believe it probably about 80% of it's underground, but if you look at Google Maps and all the pictures, you'll see a lot more, but there's a lot more underground. And really, not too many people knew about this place, but until after the crash of the TWA flight of Flight 514, and all the news crews were up here, everybody started questioning, hey, what's all these fences? What's all this no trespassing? So that's how that all started. So it's not very secretive. I mean, it's still pretty secretive of what's in there. Everybody kind of knows somewhat, kind of like Area 51. And all those sheep out just grazing in the fields. A lot different from the mountain. No fog and the sun's out. Well, our first stop, we found a winery, Naked Mountain Winery. There you go. By Virginia law, no alcohol allowed on premises other than Naked Mountain wines. It's a great little place here, tucked back behind the mountain. Of course, the winery has seen better days. It is wintertime now, so they're all starting to die out, waiting for next year's crop. I think they're open. We'll have a look. Ooh, they're doing a little remodeling and adding on. But it sure, the fire is dying, but all their Naked Mountain awards. Every winery you go to, they have awards. Nice old stone fireplace. Very cool. No wine tasting today though, but pretty nice. Ooh, a little bit of everything. Want some honey roasted Virginia nuts?
How are you today?
Good, I'm good. How are you? Friendly people. Get a corkscrew. Drink naked. Get a t-shirt. Keep calm and drink naked. All right, we're on to the next winery. Just an old abandoned house sitting here off the side of the road, right by Naked Farm Winery. I guess at one time there was a house on this foundation too. Now there's just the foundation. Or it could have been a barn. Or a number of things. 3 Fox Vineyards. They're the 3 foxes. I guess they're guarding the vineyards. Just like the other vineyards. I'm sure they'll all be like this, so I'll just let it go at that. It's still a little cool now, this time of season. A little wine drinking, but actually it's not too bad out now. Sun's out. Get a little overview of the land. Yep, the vines are waiting for next year. Boy, I guess you can take a seat out here and drink in front of the vineyards. I guess they just had a big wine tasting party, but look how these chairs are all set up on the hill, or downhill, or walk to the top of the hill. There you go, an array to drink from. More medals. Foxes. Come out here in the cool evenings, because they're open all year round except for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and Christmas Day. Well, as you walk around this place, there's definitely a lot of foxes in the foliage and trees around here. All right, everybody, get your readers on. Stonewall Jackson's brigade and the rest of the troops marched from Winchester, and they crowded into freight and cattle cars and traveled to the First Battle of Manassas. As they headed down from that old station right there back in 1861. Just a few of the old buildings still standing from those days gone by. Well, at least they didn't tear down the buildings, but now they're antique stores. I had an interesting day today. Started out looking at the TWA crash site of Flight 514, then drove through the secret facility of the FEMA, where the government goes to in case any war outbreak or anything else that's going to affect the government that's underground, and then visit a couple wineries. But if you guys want to learn more about the TWA Flight 514, just Wikipedia that, or the Northwest Airlines Flight 6231, and of course the Mount Weather underground facility, just Wikipedia and Google all that stuff. So quite interesting. Of course, I didn't get to all of it. There's a ton of stuff on all of both those plane crashes and the Mount Weather facility. So that's about it for today. And on that note, traveler out.